أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. أما بعد. By the grace of Allah the Almighty, now we are starting this online national workshop on Arabic English and English Arabic translation techniques and prospects with the recitation of few verses from Holy Quran. I invite Dr. Syed Fazlullah Bakhtiyari, Assistant Professor of Arabic, Department of Arabic, the New College, to initiate this program with Qiraat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر. سبحان الله عما يشركون. هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah ya Ustad. Now I request our respected Vice Principal Academic, Professor Sheikh Mohammed Sir, to deliver the presidential remarks.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam.
Respected head of the department, Dr. Ahmad Miran sir, Ibrahim sir, respected resource person, respected members of the Department of Arabic, dear students, it's indeed a great pleasure for me to be part of this webinar. Translation. So translation, as far as translation is concerned, in my view, translation is the first act of human beings. The day you are born, you are sending signals and the signals are being translated. So this is the first act of human being. When you are born, you cry, the mother understands. Now the kind of translation takes place. The mother understands either you are hungry or you are sick. So If it is easily, no, the mother will be able to understand, the mother will be able to differentiate. So the first and foremost activity is translation. So it is such a what do you call a very old act, but very interesting and a very profitable job in the present situation. And that too, translation from Arabic to English or English to Arabic is even more rewarding. When you translate, so these are my own ideas. When you translate, you have to be very, very careful uh, because uh, certain, especially when you are translating from Arabic to English, you have to be extremely careful with the cultural aspects of the particular language because what is there in a particular culture only will find a place in the language. What is not there in that culture will not find a place. So if you are going to translate words and sentences and materials from Arabic to English, the in English culture, the same thing may not be there. So you have to have a very deep sense of the culture of the Arabic land or the Islamic land to understand the meaning of it. There are plenty of words. Otherwise, there is every possibility for you to go wrong. So superficial knowledge will not help you. Sometimes it may give you misleading um, meaning of a particular thing. For example, in English language, yeah, Polish, Polish means text from Poland. It was translated into English, and there was an issue. There was a sentence like this: She perched her dog, sorry, she perched her feet on the bed. It was translated like she went to bed with her dog without knowing the actual meaning of it. See here, the original text, the word dog, it meant feet. But the translator, because it was not having a very, because now here now you have to understand how feet and dog are synonymous here in that particular context, because the feet follows wherever you go. Like a faithful dog, it follows you. So in that context, it was used, but unfortunately, the translator was not able to understand the nuances of a particular language. And when the translator translated the text, he made the translation like this: she went to bed with the dog, which created a kind of controversy as far as the translation is concerned. So if we are translating a text, if you are 100% sure of the context, the culture, and if you're 100% sure of the meaning of the particular word, you can give it. Otherwise, always go for a neutral meaning. Don't try to harm. Translation should not be a distortion of the original. It can enhance the original, but it should not distort the original. Here now we have our resource person who is an expert in this. I'm 100% sure that he will be able to throw more light on this, and he'll be giving more ideas on how to do the translation. Especially Arabic terms are very, very complex terms, deep rooted terms. It is not no, even the very sound, the change of sound, it leads to a lot of different meanings. So here the translator has to be extremely careful, and our resource person for today's webinar, he will be able to throw more light on it, and he will be able to guide us in all possible ways. And from his knowledge, you are going to benefit a lot. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you very much. All the best for the program.
Jazakallah, thank you very much, Vice Principal Sir. You have, Alhamdulillah, thrown light to the particular aspect of understanding the cultural and socio environmental issues of the target people and their identity, etc., for the translation purpose. Jazakallah, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, now this is my turn to introductory and welcome address. Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah the Almighty for enabling us to conduct this online national workshop on Arabic English and English Arabic translation techniques and prospects. Sir, this is an avenue, this is an area in which billion and billion of dollars may be generated. Now, the unemployability is there, vast and wide, prevalent in the globe. As far as Arabic and English translations are concerned, there are multiple scopes for each and every individual learners, seekers, and experts. Sir, this avenue paves way for cultural exchanges and socio-economic exchanges, and it will definitely generate billions and billions of currencies from foreign countries, and it will enable uh, our our revenue system of our country, beloved country. Sir, to this program, we have invited as a resource person a very well renowned, very well recognized, and great expert in this field, Dr. Syed Masood Jamali Sahab. Sir, he has decades of experience as an interpreter and translator. MashaAllah, he has served for more than 2 decades in Libya as a translator and interpreter for the multinational companies. Now he is the Dean and Professor of School of Arabic and Islamic Studies, B.S. Abdur Rahman, Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, Vandalur. Sir, we welcome each and every one of the participants, very more particularly our resource person, our respected Professor Dr. Syed Masood Jamali Sahab. And every participant is welcome. Sir, with this brief introduction, I now request the coordinator of this program, Dr. M.R. Tamim Ansari, to play the audiovisual presentation about the resource person.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يرفع الله الذين آمنوا منكم والذين أوتوا العلم درجات. We have the great pleasure of welcoming the most respected Moulana Ustad Dr. P.S. Syed Masood Jamali, Professor and Dean, School of Arabic and Islamic Studies, B.S. Abdur Rahman, Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. He is regarded as one of the most distinguished academicians in the fields of Arabic and Islamic studies, particularly in the areas of Islamic jurisprudence and translation. His time management, discipline, hard work, and dedication are well known. His early life and education. He was born in Karanallur in 1947, graduated Ali Jamali in 1967 from Jamali Arabic College, Chennai, then Fazil Jamali in 1969, then Abdul Ulama in 1972, graduated BA English in 1975 from University of Madras, then MA Arabic in 1978, and PhD in Arabic in 2006. His academic experience. He began his teaching career at Jamali Arabic College, where he graduated because his principal Moulana Abdul Wahab Bukhari Sahib, the former principal of the new college, recommended it. He worked as a teacher at Jamalia for 3 years. Moulana was a visiting faculty member at the new college in 1971. At the invitation of Professor Dr. Syed Ali, head of the Department of Arabic, he handled classes for MA Arabic degree program. Moulana Masood Jamali taught Arabic at the Crescent School in Vandalur from 1972 to 1979. He was a member of the first academic groups to develop the Crescent lifestyle with modern education in an Islamic setting. During that time, the founder Al-Hajj Dr. B.S. Abdur Rahman showed his foresight in establishing an Arabic college to promote exceptional ulama through the integration of Islamic studies and modern education. He has almost 20 years of international expertise as a translator and interpreter. Establishment of Bukhari Alim Arabic College. Dr. Masood Jamali returned to the Crescent campus in Mandalore in late 1999 to carry out Dr. B.S. Abdurrahman's vision. Moulana had undertaken a monumental job and he had successfully constructed a model institution, Bukhari Alim Arabic College, which combined Islamic academics with modern education. In 2009, a portion of this institution became the B.S. Rahman Crescent University's School of Arabic and Islamic Studies, and Moulana was appointed as its professor and dean, in addition to his role as the founding head of Arabic College. Dr. Masood Jamali has been instrumental for the development of Bukhari Alim Arabic College. Programs convened by Dr. Masood Jamali. Ustad Moulana Dr. P.S. Syed Masood Jamali has organized many academic events, including national and international conferences, workshops, and special lectures on a variety of topics. He selects themes that are more relevant to contemporary requirements and publishes the conference proceedings at the same time. He organizes the conferences and ensures that they are up to the pace with international standards. His research works and publications. He has 15 research papers published in reputable publications. He has given talks at academic conferences all around the country. 3 candidates have finished their PhD studies under his guidance, while 4 more are in the process. Many textbooks for schools and universities have been written by him. In 2018, he was awarded the Sadatullah Abba Literary Award for one of his books. He was also honored with the Bharat Jyoti Award for his remarkable contributions, achievements, and services. Countries and universities visited by Moulana. Moulana traveled to numerous nations, including the United States, Turkey, Egypt, Libya, Sudan, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and Thailand. His extension activities. Apart from his membership in government bodies and universities, Moulana Dr. Masood Jamali has been involved with a variety of organizations. Thus, Moulana Dr. P.S. Syed Masood Jamali has committed his life to teach Arabic and strengthening younger generations by instilling moral principles in them, nurturing them into true citizens, and promoting national unity. May Allah accept his efforts and services and graciously reward him. Ameen. Shukran lakum.
Ameen.
Thank you, one and all.
Amin. Jazakallah, Ustad Dr. Tamim Ansari, for your AV presentation about the most respected today's resource person. Shukran lak. Dear and esteemed professors and faculties and all other participants from different destinations, now our respected and esteemed, the most suitable personality for today's program to conduct this workshop on the topic Arabic English and English Arabic translation techniques and prospects. Dr. Syed Masood Jamali Saab, mashallah, a very well-known personality. I say he is the unique and very model and esteemed personality to present the workshop today for the students of Arabic, the research scholars, and all other participants. Sir, this translation is a vast and wide field where there are plenty of opportunities for the youth. As far as this program is concerned, there are many skillful techniques and prospects with which this field may simply flourish. In this regard, inshallah, our esteemed dignitary resource person, Dr. Syed Masood Jamali Saab, now he will present the workshop and enlighten us, inshallah. I request our esteemed Professor Dr. Syed Masood Jamali Saab to organize this workshop. Jazakumullah ala Hassan. Shukran ya Ustad.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
وعليكم السلام
سيد المرسلين محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم: ومن آياته خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف ألسنتكم وألوانكم إن في ذلك لآية. Respected Vice Principal, New College, the HOD, our dear friend Dr. Ahmad Ibrahim, Dr. Tamimul Ansari, who presented video and audio about me, and he has brought so many good words, and I pray Almighty Allah to make me fit for those good words. And dignitaries, professors, and scholars, students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The translation, as the Vice Principal told, the translation started with the start of man. When the man born, the translation started. The translation is a communication from person to person, from language to language. The ayah, what I recited before, creation of heaven and earth, signs of Allah. Likewise, ikhtilafu alsinatikum, the different languages what human being created are using, one of the signs of Allah. So, وَكُلُّ إِنسَانٍ وَكُلُّ لِسَانٍ فِي الْحَقِيقَةِ إِنسَانٍ وَكُلُّ لِسَانٍ فِي الْحَقِيقَةِ إِنسَانٍ. A poet said, every language is as a human, as a man. It means if I learn two languages, I am two men. So the translation is a very interesting subject. As our HOD, Professor Ahmad Ibrahim told, there are plenty of opportunity for the youngsters who excel in Arabic and English. In fact, the combination of the Arabic and English is a really, really fantastic. And it is a rare commodity in the world now. So in that aspect, I would like to present the translation method, and I'm not going to highlight the theoretical aspects of the translation, because it would be better for the young generation, young students, to learn practical translation method. So just for beginning, the translation in our Islamic society started when the Prophet ﷺ sent letters to the kings. Those letters were translated to the kings in their respective languages. In those days, after the Prophet ﷺ, all the government documents were written in Persian language. Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu ordered to translate from Persian to Arabic, and it was completed during the Marwan period. And I hope you understand, there were two great translation movements in our history. The first translation movement from various languages, translation taken place towards Arabic. And in the later period, almost from 12th and 13th century, the Arabic science, Arabic knowledge, and Arabic thaqafa, the cultural aspects, are translated into into European languages. So now let us go to the translation. What is translation? Translation is communication. To communicate meaning from language to language. So if you communicate from one language, that language is called source language, ESL. And if you are translating into another language, that language is called LT, target language. So normally translation means refers to written translation. There is another translation is called interpretation. It's a spoken translation. Suppose a leader is delivering a lecture in the stage, side by side, another translator would translate in the another language. And nowadays the machine translation also is available. So the translator, main task of the translator is finding equivalence from the two languages, source language and target languages. There are so many theories how to find the equivalence, and I'm not going to concentrate on the theoretical aspect. As already I told you, very practical things we go. And in the next slide, you see the middle column. It is a source language text. It is communicating from language to another language. It is a translation, written information translation, and oral translation is called the interpretation. And the main task of the translator is finding the equivalence. The equivalence is so many problems, but to concentrate into the practical aspects. See, for example, mamnu tadkhin, it is known to everybody. So if you want to translate exactly descriptive translation, descriptive equivalence, you will translate the forbidden is smoking. Smoking is forbidden. But there is another descriptive equivalent. It is already prescribed. It is available. So you have to learn. Unless you learn the culture and the literature of the both language, you cannot find the prescriptive equivalent. Of course, the descriptive equivalent is sometimes is required. For example, if translating the Ayatul Quran, so it needs descriptive. You have to describe the meaning of the word itself. But in normal translation, you have to go for the descriptive language, descriptive equivalence. Like, so mamnu tadkhin, easily you can say no smoking. Mamnu dukhul, no entry. Ma salama, you need not say with well-being. It is a goodbye. So it is a prescriptive equivalent. So only by for finding the prescriptive equivalent, you can be successful in the converting the meaning from one, communicating from one language to another language. For example, you see one word, ya'lam, it gives in the different equivalents. You see, Wizaratul Ya'lam. Ya'lam means a'lama yu'alimu ya'lam. It is information, to give information. The exact translation, Ministry of Information Ministry. But when the same word is used, Wasailul Ya'lam, you cannot translate information. So go to the prescriptive equivalent, mass media. Kulliyatul Ya'lam, the same word, you cannot translate here. Kulliyatul Ya'lam means information, the College of Information College, you cannot. And it doesn't give any meaning. It is not meaningful. Likewise, Itisalu Jamahir. So for finding the descriptive the prescriptive equivalent, you must read the language, both language and modern usages. Now we go to the meaning of different, you have to find out the meaning to translate from the context. For example, one word may have many meanings, more than one meaning, but you have to specify, you have to identify and determine the meaning according to the context. It is very, very important thing. our vice principal pointed out to this this meaning. So now he say, take a right word. One word is right. The first sentence, he writes by right hand, by his right. Yaktubu biyadihil yumna. And the same word used to go to masjid right way, right away. So here we translate mubasharatan. He has the right to question. Lahu haqqul suwal. He is right. Huwa ala haqq. Upright. Rajulun adilun. So you have to find out the meaning of your word according to the context. That is very, very important job of the translator. You see, and another word, larb. We know everything, meaning of the larb. You say, larabal walada. So he beat the boy. Larabal midfa'a. Here you cannot say beat the gun. He fired the gun. Laraba mathalan. He set an example. Laraba fil ardi. He traveled through the land. Laraba mu'idan. He fixed the appointment. So you cannot say he beat the appointment. So the translator's main job to identify and to determine the meaning of your word. If the word has more than one meaning, according to the context, he has to determine. Next, when you translate a simple sentence, you can have jumla and in a different type of sigha. For example, he admires her greatly. You can translate in so many methods. These all the methods can be used according to the style required, or perfection required, or stress required, wherever you need. So yajibu biha, yu'ajibu biha bishidda. It's a sighat al-hal. Yu'ajibu biha ya'jaban shadidan. Yu'ajib biha ayyama ya'jab. Inna ya'jabahu biha kana shadida. So these are all stylish and different type of sigha for the translation. See another example. The situation has deteriorated very sharply. Tadahwar al-mawqifu shiddatan is a normal one. Tadahwar al-mawqifu tadahwaran haddan shadidan. Tadahwar al-mawqifu ayyama tadahurin. Inna tadahwar al-mawqifi la shadid. So likewise, you can select the sigha which fit for the required style of your translation. And imkaniyatu tahwil sifa ila ism. Normally, adjective, sifat mawsuf, in some of the translation, you find very difficult to translate. Or if it is more adjectives, more sifat mawsuf, the translation become difficult. So in that case, you can change the sifat into ism. For example, good management of the company. Good management, idara hasana, is a sifat mawsuf. Early implementation, quick implementation. Tanfidh sari'a, speedy operation, tashghil ajil. So the same thing, the sifat can be converted into ism. It's a very simple patterns you can apply for any kind of translation. So idara hasana, husn idara. Tanfidun sari'un al-yisra'u fit tanfid, or yisra'u tanfid al-mashru'. Tashghil ajil, the sifat mawsuf become at-ta'jil fit tashghil, ta'jilul tashghil. So keep in your mind, the sifat can be converted into ism in the translation normally. So you have to practice. Only it helps when you get the long sentence containing more Sifat Mawsuf. Then Tarjuma ila iddati siyagh, as already I told, wherever you need to stress the pattern of the sentence can be translated accordingly. For example, Ata Muhammad Khalidan Kitab is a normal statement. Muhammad gave Khalid a book. So to stress Muhammad Ata Kitaban Khalidan. So as a jawab, as a reply for the question, who gave the book to Khalid? Muhammad Ata Kitaban. So another thing, to whom the kitab was given by Muhammad? Khalidan. So inna Muhammadan ata Khalidan kitaban. Laqad ata Muhammad Khalidan kitab. So according to the stress, you can change your pattern of the sentence. Now, normally the translator faces many difficulties in finding equivalent in the tense. Why? Because in Arabic we have only 3 tense. Al-Madi, Wal-Mudari, Wal-Amr. So in addition to 3, we can have Al-Mustaqbal. So Al-Mustaqbal be istimali Sin, Sawfa, Aw, Fin Nafi, Lan. So it become Asbaha, Arba. So now keep the Amr separately. We deal with only 3. Al-Madi, Al-Mudari, Al-Mustaqbal. If you go to the English, we have plenty of tenses. There are 3 tenses as we studied in Arabic, but each tense has 4 aspects. So total 12 tenses. A translator translating the English text from 12 tense into only 3 tense. So really it is difficult. Why it is difficult? The tense in the Arabic is broader. It covers more time, the more area where the action is taken place. Whereas the English tense particularly point out the place or the location where the action is taken place. So that's why you have to find whatever is equivalent in Arabic, equivalent to English. So as I told the notes, tense in English specify the time of action more closely, whereas the tense is spelling mistake. Tense in Arabic broader to cover wider range of action. While translating from English to Arabic, the translator must identify the time of action. For example, we say if you are if you are eating or if you are walking, he walks. If the walk is completed, he has walked. That's also present tense in English. He walks, present tense. He has walked, also present tense, but perfect. So come to the next slide. I just given some examples, and if you go through these examples in the next few slides, I consolidated. You can easily understand how the tense from English to Arabic can be translated. For example, that's first Mali. The Mali has 4 aspects: Mali Basit, the past simple, past continuous, past perfect, past perfect continuous. So we have only Mali in Arabic. Nama ams mutaakhiran, he slept. And see, Kana Zakiyan, he was. I have given the note there. The verb to be must be translated in the past tense. whereas in the present tense can be used as jumla ismiya. We will see later on. And Madi Mustamir, you put Kana and with Mudari, Kana Yakrav. See the point. We use the Kana Madi in Arabic. Yakrav is the Mudari. So the combination of the Kana or Yakrav become past Mustamir, Al Madi Mustamir. It's the same ways, the Madi Tam, past perfect, Akaltu Tam. If you say Akaltu, if you say Nimtu, Karatu, Katabtu, everything is past and past perfect. And Madi Tam Al Mustamir Kana Aw Dhalla Yudakiru. He had been studying for 5 hours. Kana Yudakiru li muddati 5 sa'at. Dhalla Yudakiru. Likewise, you go to the next, it's Al Mudari. Mudari also has 4 points in the English: present simple, present continuous, present perfect, present perfect continuous. Tamtadul Ma'adin, it is a normal Al Mudari. You see, students are intelligent. In English, it is a simple present. The are is used, the verb to be. So in this case, wherever you find in present tense the verb to be, you can translate into jumla ismiya. At-talaba adkiya. So you need not bring the verb there, are. And likewise, present continuous, la'ibun, who continues, huwa yal'ab, undur, huwa yal'ab, huwa la'ib, Ahmad la'ib al-an. So there is no specific rules and regulations how to translate the perfect and continuous. But according to the what you call the context, you have to find out where the action taken place. Whether the action completed, you can use present tense, past tense in Arabic, but in English, the present perfect. So you see, present perfect continuous, you can use lam yazal yal'ab, lalla la'iban, lam yazal mazala, lam yazal ma yazalu. Next, al mudari. Simply you add sin, saufa. For nafi, for manfi, you can add lan. So I will read my lesson tomorrow. So for manfi, they will not come back. And the future continues, you can use seen and yakunu. Seen plus yakunu is a pattern for the future continuous. So sa'akunu na'iman, sa'akunu na'iman, sa'akunu hadiran. Likewise, future perfect use seen plus yakun and qad. Sayakunu al-ustadu qad wasala ila al-fasli. Dukkal jarasu. Sayakunu al-ustadu qad wasala ila al-fasli. So, seen, saufa, yakunu, and added with qad. Perfect, future perfect. The same thing almost seen saufa qad, sayakunu qad shagaltu. You see the next this chart explain how the until now past, present, and future. Everything is put in the same chart. You can see and read later on. And for your consolidating all the tense, the next slide you see, past, simple past, continuous past, perfect past. So in this simple لعب يلعب سيلعب. It is very simple. لعب يلعب سيلعب. If it is manfi, لن يلعب. So for the continuous, you add only kana. Kana يلعب. And also if you say لاعبا, kana لاعبا, it become continuous. And present يلعب. Yel'abu itself is present, and also sometimes according to the context, yel'ab gives the meaning of present continuous. And if you want more stress, kana yel'abu, kana la'iban, sayakunu la'iban, sawfa yakunu la'iban. And next, already you have seen in the previous slides, perfect qad la'iba, kana qad la'iba. And present, لعب الآن, لعب, لقد لعب, سيكون قد لعب. You can see, go through this chart, and if you practice, you will be well versed in converting the tense into from English to Arabic and Arabic to English. Now you can see one video regarding this conversion of the translation of the tense, and particularly the past.
ترجمة أزمنة الماضي من اللغة الإنجليزية إلى اللغة العربية. The translation of the past tenses from English into Arabic. أولاً ترجمة زمن الماضي البسيط. The simple past. نستخدم الفعل الماضي في اللغة العربية لترجمة الزمن الماضي البسيط. مثال: I bought a new house last month. اشتريت بيتاً جديداً في الشهر الماضي. فعبرنا عن الزمن الماضي بكلمة bought، فعل ماضي في اللغة العربية وهو اشترى. مها went to school yesterday. ذهبت مها إلى المدرسة في الأمس. فعبرنا عن الفعل went في الزمن الماضي البسيط لفعل ماضي في اللغة العربية وهو الفعل ذهب. أضفنا التاء في اللغة العربية للتعبير عن التأنيث. ثانياً ترجمة زمن الماضي المستمر. The past continuous. نستخدم كان وفعل مضارع للتعبير عن زمن الماضي المستمر. مثل: I was watching TV when Salma arrived. كنت أشاهد التلفاز عندما وصلت سلمى. Nada was playing football at 10 a.m. yesterday. كانت ندى تلعب كرة القدم في الساعة 10 صباحا في الأمس. فاستخدمنا كانت وفعل مضارع للتعبير عن الفعل was زائد verb ing. ثالثاً ترجمة زمن الماضي التام the past perfect. نستخدم كان زائد قد في اللغة العربية للتعبير عن زمن الماضي التام the past perfect. مثل: My sister had already eaten by the time I got home. كانت أختي قد أكلت في الوقت الذي وصلت به إلى المنزل. فترجمنا had already eaten بالفعل اللغة العربية كانت قد أكلت. طبعاً بالتاء بالتأنيث. When Ahmed arrived at the party, Omar had already gone home. عندما وصل أحمد إلى الحفلة كان عمر قد عاد إلى المنزل. فقلنا كان عمر قد عاد للتعبير عن had already gone home. رابعاً ترجمة الزمن الماضي التام المستمر the past perfect continuous. نستخدم كان وفعل مضارع للتعبير عن الزمن الماضي التام المستمر. فمثلاً نقول Suha had been working in this school for 10 years. كانت سهى تعمل في هذه المدرسة لمدة 10 أعوام. فعبرنا عن have been working كانت تعمل، والتاء للتأنيث.
So I hope you watched. So if you little concentrate and work in the tense, you will be able to translate perfectly. Now I go to the another aspect, model verb, al-af'alul muqayyada. So these verbs comes jointly with another verbs to give the meaning, possibility, necessity, and permission. You know that very easy, but a translation you have to be careful to select the equivalent. So, for example, obligatory necessity you use in English must, go to, have to be. You must have to go now. Yajibu an tadhhaba. So you use a yajib. And another thing you see, logical, must, ought to. It's a legal, logical. In that case, you can use labudda annahum hadiruna fi qa'ati dirasa. And next, the moral obligation should out. For that, you can use yanbaghi. So instead of using yajibu or labudda, you can use yanbaghi. It gives the moral sense. And no obligation, no need, don't have to. So la da'iya an tadhhab. It's a very exact translation. To the meaning of ability, to sense of the ability, can, could, it is used. So yastati'u, al yumkinu, yaqdiru, you can use. And refusal, la tastati'u, la taqdiru, la tastati'u. So these are all the points to be noted by the translator while translating the purpose of the model verbs. Next, al-af'al mudayyala, tailed verbs. We know that in the hadith, raghiba fi, raghiba an. So we have to be very careful in this tailed verbs. By tailing with something with a verb, the meaning entirely changes. Raghiba fi, he liked. Raghiba an, he disliked. Mala ila, he inclined towards. Mala an, he disliked. He stayed away. Waqa'a fi, he fallen down, committed mistake. Waqa'a ala, he found. Waqafa, he stood. Nadara ila, look at. Nadara fi, he researched. So the translator has to take very keen observation about the tailed verbs. And another thing, it is a very simple points you have to take note. Adawatul atf. We know atf, wow in English, in Arabic. In English, comma and. In English, words are joined with comma plus and. So if you have many words, put comma, comma, comma. At the last word, you can make atuf with the and in English. But in Arabic, you have to keep vowel atuf for every atuf. Yashmalu al-mabna min ghurafi tadrisi wal ma'mali wal mamarrati wa dawratul miyah. You put the comma if it is necessary. If you want to stress and make the focus on the connection and atuf, you can give the comma also. But wow itself is sufficient. Sometimes we use and or, and oblique or. So it's difficult to translate, but very easy. The teacher used audio and or video. Yes, it means both or either. If you use and / or, it means both or either. Same thing you bring in the translation. يستخدم الأستاذ المسموعات والمرئيات أو إحداهما. It's a simple diverting the word to bring the meanings. And another thing, Sigatul Majhul. Sigatul Majhul, there is no problem in translating Sigatul Majhul min English ila al-Arabiya أو من العربية إلى الإنجليزية أو بالعكس. But sometimes we can change the Sigha Majhul into Sighatul Maf'ul, Sighatul Ma'ruf. Food was cooked, tubiha at-ta'am, tamma tabkhu at-ta'am. Sometimes it is a very strong word. If you use Sighatul Majhul, it is very strong and difficult to pronounce. So in those places, you can divert from Sighatul Majhul ila Sighatul Ma'ruf. Tubiha at-ta'am, tamma tabkhu at-ta'am. Ulghiya al-ijtima'u, tamma ilgha'u al-ijtima'. Buniya al-baytu, tamma bina'u al-bayt. We all know that the Sigha Majhul fil Arabiya la yudhkaru fihi al-fa'il. Fa'il you cannot find in the Majhul fil Arabiya. But in English, most of the time, fa'il is mentioned. You see here. So for that, food is cooked by mother. Meeting cancelled by manager. House was built by the father. So, tubiha ta'amu min qibalil You can use min qibal, min janib, alayad, biyad, bima'rifat. In fact, it is not available in Arabic. But for the translation, to cope up with the English concept, the English meaning, we can do like this. Tubiha ta'amu min qibalil Ulghiyal ijtima'u min janibil mudir. Buniyal baitu biyadil walid. Same thing you can change into ma'ruf. Tamma tabkhu ta'am min qibalil Tamma ilgha'u al-ijtima'i min janibil mudir. Tamma bina'ul baiti biyadil walid. Go to the next, you see the structure of English and structure of the Arabic differs a lot. So the tarkibul jumla, the construction of the sentence, the starting point and ending point may not be or will not be same in Arabic and English. You see here, I brought one sentence, simple sentence. Tayratu rukabin Amerikiyatin jadidatin tahattabat. Tayratu rukabin Amerikiyatin jadidatin tahattamat. Fi baharin kurbal Hind. So how to translate? Not from the starting point. See here. Number one, Jadid, America, Rukab, Tayra. You translate a new American passengers flight. Next, Tahattamat, crashed. Fi Bahrain, Qurba al-Hindi. Very, very strange. You see, from the middle going to right, and from the middle next going towards left. So it is a very interesting one. Likewise, the translation, the construction of the sentence in Arabic and English differs a lot. So you have to find the starting point. You can change also. Ta'irat rukabin Amerikiyatin jadidatin ta'attamat. You bring the fa'al in top. Tahattamat ta'iratu rukabin Amerikiyatin jadidatin. Also it can be. So in the translation, a new American passenger crashed in a sea near India. Ta'irat rukabin Amerikiyatin jadidatin tahattamat fi bahri qurbal Hind. So now a long sentence, how can be translated? First of all, take one sentence and identify new words. Get the translation of the words. Then bifurcate or divide the long sentence into many small sentences. Then only you can understand the concept and you can put accordingly in English. For example, afadat wizaratun naft anna intajal naftil kham sayankhfidu inkhifaadan haddan bihululi December 2021 إذا لم يتم تركيب وتشغيل قطع الغيار والمعدات المسلمة وإنجاز أعمال الهندسة المدنية. See, first of all, you have to select the new words and translate and find the proper equivalence, perspective equivalent. So now, Wizaratul Naft, oil ministry, and Naftal Kham, crude oil, Qata'u Ghiyar, spare part, Al-Mu'iddat, equipment, Al-Musallama, already delivered, Injas, completion. So put the complete Afadat, the Wizaratul Nafti, the Ministry of the Ministry of Oil has advised إن إنتاج النفط الخام سينخفض انخفاضا حادا في ديسمبر 2021. Next and next and next. So divide the long sentences into parts. First you select the new words and find the equivalents. Then according to your convenience, divide the long sentences. Then you translate. I skip. Translation of complex sentence. I mean the complex sentence which has more adjectives. Sifat kathira. For example, you see tall, bearded, regal, and intelligent Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India and head of the Bharatiya Janata Party government, all Sifat, has landed in New York last week to participate in the meeting of the United Nations. The point in this sentence, Narendra Modi landed in New York to participate in the meeting of the United Nations. But so many adjectives, Sifat, how to translate? You see, Narendra Modi, tall, bearded, regal, and intelligent Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi, الطويل وصاحب اللحية والمهيب والذكي. You can change according to your taste. Narendra Modi, الذي يبدو, الذي يظهر, الذي مظهره طويلا وصاحب اللحية ومهيبا وذكي. You can change also. So next, رئيس وزراء الهند, رئيس حكومة حزب بارتية جنتا. So next, so as I told you, the main sentence is Nazala Narendra Modi fi New York في الأسبوع الماضي للاشتراك في جلسة الأمم المتحدة. It is a main concept in the sentence. So all those words are adjectives. You have to put carefully and divide the sentences. Nazala, if you complete translation, نزل نريندرا مودي رئيس وزراء الهندي الذي يبدو طويلا وصاحب اللحية ومهيبا وذكيا والذي يرأس حكومة حزب بارتية جنتا في نيويورك. And the necessary to put the fasila, the comma is very important here. Fi New York, because so long adjectives. So after long adjectives, you have to put the comma. Otherwise, you confuse the meaning. في نيويورك في الأسبوع الماضي للاشتراك في جلسة الأمم المتحدة. So likewise, you have to be careful in the translating multiple what you call the adjectives, and the translators need lot of vocabularies. Whichever field he translates, he needs lot of vocabularies. So without vocabularies, you cannot translate. So see the, for example, the organization's names you cannot translate on your own. Muslim World League, Rabitatul Alam Islamic, World Labour Organization, Munallamatul Amal Duwaliya, Al Qimma Al Islamiyya, Islamic Summit, Majlis Al Amn, Security Council, Ijtima'un Tari'un, Mufawalatul Salam, Peace Talk, Ta'dil Wuzari, Munallamatul Mu'tamar Al Islami, Fard Uqubat Iqtisadiyya, imposing economic sanctions, Azma Siyasiyya, Fard هكذا كثير من الألفاظ لا بد أن يقرأ ويعد المترجم من هذه الألفاظ والمفردات. Without the vocabularies of the concerned field, you cannot translate. So the translation job is very, very interesting, very nice. I went to Libya in 1980 as a translator. At that time, I was very well versed in Arabic language, and somewhat I was able to manage in English. But when I landed there as a translator, I was designated as a translator, interpreter, but I was not able to do my job because the people who talk in Arabic, I cannot understand. I cannot translate. So the colloquial language is a different one. And also the Arabic الفصحى تختلف من مكان إلى مكان آخر وتختلف من مجال إلى مجال آخر. So the translator job is very, very interesting, and if the translator is well versed in both languages, he will enjoy the transmission of the concept from one language to another language and vice versa. So nowadays in our college, Bukhari Alim Arabic College, in the School of Arabic and Islamic Studies in our university, we produce our own students capable of translating. Our students are all over the world in mostly in translation job. As I told you, the translation, the combination of Arabic and English is a very rare commodity. You people who study in the New College and Jamal Muhammad College and other colleges pursuing Arabic studies, and English, of course, English is very easy for you. And if you take little more efforts, you will be a very good translator. And I told you, the combination of Arabic and English is a rare commodity. And if you are well versed in both languages, you also will be very rare commodity in this modern world. So by this, I want to close, and I take this opportunity to thank all the organizers, and especially our good friend Dr. N.M. Ibrahim, the HOD Arabic department, and Dr. Tamimul Ansari, and all other faculty members in the New College, and those who involved in the organization of the this workshop, in national workshop. I thank from my heart, and also my friend here, my colleague, the Tamimul Ansari, and one more Tamimul Ansari is with me. He also helped me for making all these presentation. So thank you very much. I hope I just given some idea for the translation, and it is not the full translation explanation. It is the only beginning, first step, and the young translator has to go a long way. I thank Almighty Allah for this opportunity. I thank everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Islam, Ustad.
Jazakumullah. Ustad, dear participants, Alhamdulillah, our expert professor, mashallah, has highlighted very important points related to the translation field. One thing I want to clarify at this juncture, that our Arabic language and the translation to English, the machines and equipments and all other softwares which are available nowadays, they won't be ultimate substitute. Please remember, the language Arabic and English, they are more important to flourish in the field of translation related to this Arabic and English. Machines have won men in many languages, whereas Arabic is concerned, it will never win. The machines will never win the men. That is the human resources. Because brilliance, awareness, attentiveness, multilingual expertise, and cognizance, these are the required areas as far as Arabic language is concerned and its translation to other languages are concerned. So we people who are the literate with Arabic language and literature, we are fortunate people that always this field needs human minds, brilliance, brains. The machine will never win. The richness of Arabic language ensures the permanent requirement of translators. To the context one has to translate the things. For this, manual mind setup and presence is important. Multiple meaning for one single word and multiple words for one single meaning. These are the unique nature of Arabic language. Again, here the men are required proficient with the translation skill. And grammatical structure of Arabic, it is unique and universal. Hence, again, here the human brain, intellectualism, and Arabic knowledge, thorough knowledge, expertise in the field of linguistic and language, they are further required. So you are people of Arabic, you are fortunate people, permanently your requirement and opportunities are available. May Allah bless each and every one of us present here. And I thank our esteemed chief guest, resource person. Now I request our Dr. Tamim Ansari sir, the coordinator of this program, to propose the vote of thanks.
رزقنا جميعا في هذه الورشة الافتراضية وجعلها فائدة كبيرة. يجب علي أن أشكر الأستاذ شيخ محمد نائب أمين الكلية لكلماته الرئاسية، ثم يجب علي أن أشكر الأستاذنا الكريم الدكتور أحمد إبراهيم حفظه الله رئيس قسم البحث والدراسة الغربية العليا بالكلية الجديدة لمساعدته القيمة لإقامة هذه الورشة الوطنية. ويجب علي أن أشكر الأستاذ الفاضل مولانا دكتور سيد مسعود الجمالي لقبول دعوتنا وإلقاء محاضرته الرائعة القيمة المفيدة حول الترجمة العربية والإنجليزية التقنيات والآفاق، وجزاه الله خير الجزاء في الدارين آمين. ثم أشكر جميع الأساتذة من القسم العربي بالكلية الجديدة والمشاركين من مختلف المعاهد لمشاركتهم الفعالة، جزاهم الله خيرا. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.